Hi folks. I was just watching something that surprised me about how lovely it was actually. It was a 4x400 metre relay heats. So 2 heats. It was basically the Olympics. No, it was the Olympics. But it was a heat. So you had all the nations. And the most beautiful thing was watching those teams that were finishing 5th, 6th and 7th still running and giving absolutely everything they had, knowing that they're not going to win, they're not going to go through to the final. But it wasn't about that. They're at the Olympics, they're representing their country. But you see them, and when they've done their 100 metres bit and hand the baton over to the next person, they collapse on the floor because they've given absolutely everything. Yeah, I found that quite emotional. That was absolutely beautiful watching that. And I really felt for those people because they didn't get through, but they didn't let themselves down. Not in any way, shape or form. And the reason why I found it quite emotional is because I realised that's what God wants from his people. That's what God wants. The thing of it is, I watched something the other day with Michael Jordan, and he was talking about excellence. And he was saying, yeah, you've got to be aiming for excellence. And again, I thought, yeah, that's what God wants from us. And yeah, well, as I say, yeah, when I go to church, I find it horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. When I see what it is right now, I see what church is. It's horrible. Yeah. And I can see what God sees. I can see that he's looking down and thinking, oh dear. Yeah. It's not good right now. Such a shame. Because really, I mean, this is what you need from church is the same as these athletes. These athletes in the Olympics, they have the coaches. They have the coaches that are going to help them to get to where they need to be. That's what a pastor, that's what a teacher is supposed to be. That's their job. To help you to get to the absolute limit that you can get to in your relationship with God and in your ministry, whatever that ministry may be. Is to give you the tools you need to get there. And in most churches, they get bogged down with stuff. And it doesn't help. They let stuff get in the way all the time. And yeah. Michael Johnson was talking about the fact that because he was the 200 metre champion and the 400 metre champion. And the record holders when he was running. And he also had a stroke. Basically, his left arm, left leg, left hand, left foot, nothing. No movement at all. But he was saying, he said, the thing of it is with him, how he was able to get through that is because when he was training to the point where he was already basically at 99.9999999%. So to most people, they would put the effort in and see no improvement. But he knew, even if you got that point, .000000001%, that would still be improvement. That would still be worth all the effort that he put in. And so therefore, when trying to deal with having a stroke and get movement back in his body, that tiniest improvement he would take. He would see that and he would take that. Whereas other people who had not operated at those levels before and focused on the minute improvement would often give up when they're trying to help their body to recover from a stroke, because they don't see the levels of improvement. They don't see any. And again, that was a fascinating point. Yeah, actually, that makes sense. So, yeah. But I'd say phenomenal human being, that man. Amazing. But he was someone who operated at the highest level. And this is the point. We are supposed to operate at the highest level. We who are God's people, we're supposed to operate at the highest level. We're supposed to be aiming for excellence. We're supposed to be putting it all in. We're supposed to be at the point that if we're going to die, that on the day we die, we're done. We've given everything. There's nothing more to give. We basically couldn't take one more step because we've done everything we possibly could. Guarantee you, if I went into a church and I said that into a church, there'd be a lot of older people crying their eyes out because they know they have not done that. They know they have not done that. They know that when they die, there's going to be so much left because they didn't give it all. And that's such a shame. There's no judgment for those people because they're going to be judging themselves. And they've got to be careful not to condemn themselves because that's going to be a very, very easy thing to do. And that would be my job to make sure they don't. But this is the point. From now, we've got to aim for excellence. Now again, the problem is right now, we don't know what that looks like. Not in a spirit way. We don't know what that looks like. We know what it looks like in a physical way. Although, again, we see people cheating. We see people, taking steroids and use any other thing like that in order to get the perfect body or what they see as a perfect body. But when you see someone who's actually put the work in, well, as I say, you see these athletes. Phenomenal. So many of them. I was watching something the other day. It was the women's gymnastics. It was the floor one. And just thinking, well, actually, a lot of people look at models and think these models are the perfect female. No, these women are. These women are. They're phenomenal. Well, because when you look at the men are powerful. You can see they're powerful. So when they do their jumps and they do their flips and they go up and do turnies in the air on the floor and they do all these power moves, got that? We can see you're powerful. You've got massive shoulders. Huge. Massive arms. We expect that from you. But the women, they're dainty. They're titty tiny. And they do that. It's like, whoa! How on earth have you got that much power in that? To be able to get that high. When they do their runs, and they do the run from one corner of the mat to another, they do the flippy, jumpy, spinny, landy. When they're doing the jumpy, spinny in the air, They're higher than me. They would have jumped over me. But when you look at the dedication, the hours that they put in, this matters. I'm not going to give in. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep pushing until I get this. You have a bit of that in the church. You have a bit of these runners for the 4x4. Have a bit of that in the church. Yeah. Have a bit of what they've got. Putting it all in, representing their nation. You're representing God. How much more should you be putting in when you're representing God? And do it joyfully. Because these people, they run and give everything with a smile on their face because they're representing their nation. They're representing their fellow athletes. They had one Olympics, didn't they, where they had a shot putter doing the hurdles because they didn't have anyone else to do it. So they had to put someone, and that person gleefully offered to do it. A shot putter. Huge individual. Trying to get over the hurdles. Was way behind anyone else. Didn't care. Didn't care. Loved it. Did it all with a smile on their face. Because it was about representing their country, representing their fellow athletes. And it was an honour. How many people count it as an honour to do what they do for God? It's an honour. So start counting it as an honour. As I say, if they can represent their nation with such joy and such honour and such desire, giving absolutely everything, when you're representing God, especially this God that sent his son to die for you, and you can't do equal to that? Yeah, don't tell me about all the stuff you do in church. I don't care. I really don't. Standards are way too low. Way too low. Get that sorted. It is absolutely ridiculous that the standards are so low. But there you go. Yeah. There you go. But whatever you do it with the same. Do it with that honour, that joy, that glee. It's an honour to do that. They want you to make the tea and coffee? Then, absolutely. With honour. They want you to meet people at the door? Absolutely, with honour. Yeah. And do that in your life, do that in your work, do that in everything. Change your point of view that you're now representing God. And you're going to do it with absolutely everything you've got, with honour, with joy. There you go. You take care. God bless. I'll speak to you soon.